Hello. Hold on. My name is Logan and welcome to the White Book Boy. I'm a chaotic bisexual. I read books. I usually reserve tag videos for when I DNF a book, but I didn't DNF a book today. I just have seen this tag going around a lot, and it's a very interesting conversation that I want to jump into. So this video, while formatted similarly to everything else I do, might be a little bit different in tone. This is the Pain Over Joy book tag. I saw Hugo at Scientist Reading World do this, and I don't remember who did it initially, but I will link them in the comments below, or I will link them in the description below. But basically there's like a lot of discussion right now on the internet and in the book community in general in like what is valid literature. As long as I've been reading, but also especially since getting on YouTube, I've noticed that like there's a common thread of people who either love young adult, happy romance, like happy ending books, and don't like any sort of like sad book, sad ending, like anything like that. And then there's people on the other extreme that only see something as intellectually valid if it's like emotionally traumatizing, which is, and neither of those stances are fucking correct. I believe it is in the middle, and to say that a book is not valid simply because it is not the most emotionally disturbing thing you've ever written that takes months to read is elitist and fucking awful. So let's talk about it. Question 1. Do you read more books illustrating pain or joy? Good question. I think I get like a nice, a happy medium because, well, I love horror books, so that's a lot of pain right there. And I fucking love a sad book. Oh my god, I love a sad book. I'm a sad bitch. I live in sad bitch corner. I love books that make me cry. I also am an emotional fucking human being. While I don't cry a lot in real life, like as a person, I cry at the drop of a hat when reading a book, and oftentimes the part of the book that makes me cry, even if it's a really sad book, is the happy part. Like if it's a really fucking sad book, and then you just get one like scene of like happy, genuine human connection, I will be in the corner sobbing. This is why I'm a little life apologist. Not for all the trauma that Jude and the other characters suffer, because there's a lot, and not for like all of the sad, heart-wrenching parts of the story, because there are a lot of those, and I do enjoy those, even though I recognize how problematic that book is in some circles. Like, I understand that. My favorite part of that book is the like little poetic observations that like Harold or Jude or Willem make in the happy moments, in the moments of joy, in the moments where life isn't so hard for them and they can take a breath. Like that is what makes me sob. I'm the green fucking fairy in the I'm Fauna in Sleeping Beauty. This is just it's me.
Oh, I just love happy endings. Yes.
So I would say between. I read a good amount of pain, but I also read a good amount of happy. Question 2. Do you see pain as more intellectually valuable? Abso-fucking-lutely not, because as I ranted about before, there will always be something that is both intellectual and emotionally attractive about having a catharsis with a character's pain. However, that can be very difficult and very dangerous, and that is a very like raw, I would say, baseline emotional connection. The more intellectual connections that I have I find that I'm like mind-blowing oftentimes, are in the joyful sides of stories, where there's like an observation about something in life that is wonderful, or like an observation about human beings and human connection that like make you like, that like just makes you sit back and think, you know what, I really love that part about being a human, you know? For example, in Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe, my favorite part of that book is just how beautifully and eloquently Melinda Lowe is able to express the joy and the safety that a queer person feels the first time they enter a space that is strictly for queer people, like a gay club or a lesbian club. Like, there's just that joy and that ability to take a breath and release and be you is something that is so hard to capture on the page, and she did it, and that's when I was crying in that book. And that's what I would define as intellectual. So no, pain is not more intellectually valuable. Question number 3. Why do you think the Pulitzer Prizes and other literary prizes often go to books that illustrate deeply painful subjects? I think this is a two-sided thing. The first side is that we as a society have been trained. We live in a society. We live in a world, especially in America, where pain, like surviving painful circumstances and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, which is an oxymoron and actually not possible, fun fact, not physically possible. But that sort of thing has been romanticized, I think, a lot in our culture. And we tend to award people for, just in general, like, even outside of books, you extend this to, like, movies or poems or, like, Nobel Peace Prizes or, like, you know, just awards, like, in general. We award people for doing really painful things because I think the physical effects and ramifications of pain and painful experiences are a lot more visible to the observing eye than the physical effects of joy. Therefore, I think we just, as a society, hold surviving something to a higher standard than learning to exist and find joy through surviving something. Part 2 of why I think that like Pulitzer Prizes in novels go to more painful subjects, and then like also like the Oscars often go to like more painful and emotionally wrenching movies, and just art in general goes to sad topics rather than happy topics, is because there's a lot of money involved. I don't know if this is how the Pulitzer Prizes work, but so I might be speaking out of my ass, but I know as far as other artistic prizes like the Oscars and such, there is often entire budgets dedicated towards buying the sentiments of different judges and sending Academy members gifts and things like that. So while the subject matter is considered a bit, it's more often the budget behind the subject matter and the budget behind the person, or the publishing company behind the person that's getting the award. And again, with money comes elitism. So there's going to be more money thrown at projects that involve sadder things and more heart-wrenching artistic quote-unquote things than happy stories. It just tends to be the trend. Question 4, how do you feel about the phrase guilty pleasure? I do not think that that people should be shamed for their pleasures. I think that pleasure in this world is a rare thing, and we should find it wherever we can, within the bounds of self-control, you know, but I don't think that anybody should be shamed for their pleasures. Now, do I use the phrase guilty pleasure in a sarcastic manner? Absolutely, because I am a connoisseur and a reader of smut books. Not so much on the internet, because that would get me banned, but I read a lot of smut books, so I will joke about that for sure. However, I'm not guilty about that. Nobody should feel guilty for what they enjoy, especially not people who often are like, oh, young adult books are my guilty pleasure. Like, no, own it. You don't have to be guilty about it. Well, people are judging you, but they shouldn't be. I guess question 5 kind of builds off of this. Would you define books centered around joy as a guilty pleasure? No. Joy is there. The fact that we as people and as a society have associated joy with things that one should feel guilty about, it just boggles my mind, because it's so rare in this world that we feel happy. So why are we shaming people for what they find happiness in? I don't understand it. Question 6. Do you read books in secret. Are there books that you have read that I'm reading off my MacBook. Are there books that you have read that you don't talk about on the internet because of shame or embarrassment around them? Not shame or embarrassment. And no, there is not a single book that I have read that I feel ashamed about, or I feel, or I felt a need to keep secret because, oh my god, what are they gonna think of me? I don't fucking buy into that. I think that's ridiculous because, again, we need to stop shaming people for reading books. Reading is a dying art form, I feel like, right now, which scares me. So, like, why are we shaming people for what they choose to read? I don't get it. Now, are there books that I have read that I don't talk about on the internet? Yes. The other books that I have read that I don't talk about on this page are, books that I DNF, or books that I, like, really didn't enjoy, because I try to keep positive reviews on this channel, just because if I don't enjoy a book, I usually DNF it. There is an occasional negative review on this channel. You can find them, and on one of them I was definitely wrong about what I was saying, but it's there. But usually if I don't enjoy a book, I will DNF it. And if I DNF'd a book, then I didn't read the entire thing, which means in my view, I don't have an informed opinion, so I'm not going to talk about it on the internet, because if I don't have an informed opinion on it and I don't know what I'm talking about, then why would I put a video out there of myself talking out of my ass, It wouldn't be productive or helpful for anybody. So I might as well just stick to reading books that I like and talking about them and recommending them to people. I don't know. Question 7 is to tag people. If you feel so compelled, tag your it. I really enjoyed this tag, and I like that we're having this discussion because BookTube, and more so Book Talk, but BookTube in general, can be very just uppity about what we define as good literature or not. And I think we need to stop that. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, thanks for sticking around and helping out. And if you want more chaotic bisexual content, make sure to hit that notification bell and ring the subscribe button. What? You know what to do. Hit buttons so you can get my videos whenever I decide to post them. I don't know. This has been the Bye Book Boy. I'm saying bye.